episode 34 of the Offside Podcast. Here with the team, Ali, Tama, Junior, and myself. How is everyone feeling? The energy is so amazing in this room.
Yes.
We want to send a big shout out to our sponsor, Fale Cover. You can buy that at fale.cover on Instagram and Facebook, or just follow Tox Fale. He will show you the way where you can buy this good stuff. Probably a good time to ask, how's the shirts going?
Yeah, good.
I had like 2 or 3 DMs on because it's weird. I hardly check our DMs on social media, so people tuning in, sorry. There's like 2 or 3 of them I've passed on to the website.
Oh, nice.
Which is telling because people are still reaching out.
Yeah, it's gone a bit quiet because I haven't worn it in ages. It's too bloody cold. I think we need a jersey.
Decolonise Pacific. I gotta get the mug. You got some really cool mugs. You got the one with the middle finger.
Yes.
I want that.
Yeah, gotta bring that in there.
So check out, it's decolonisepacific.com.
Yep.
And there's a whole bunch of merch on there as well. Contact the team there and get you some good stuff. We are at the back end of Ali Save's decision, which was awesome last week. So we speculated on the last podcast, but it came true. Everyone's rumors of him moving to Moana Pacifica, it's happened. And the coolest thing about this to me is all the noise that Ali has brought to this team, and it's pretty much 6 months from the next Super Rugby comp, which means their marketing plan has started already. There's going to be bums on seats. I know I'm going to be going to their first game. What's your thoughts on the move, bro?
Big move. I think John Kilwan came out saying it might not be a good move for him personally because of where Moana Pacifica is. You know, the last 2 seasons they came last, and then this season they came second to last. And he said from his experience, when he went to a lower club, he had to do a lot, and it affected the way he played.
Is he talking about the Warriors?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
John Kirk, because that was the only time he went to a lower club.
He's old. I don't know why he would bring up his experience. It's a different day and age, completely different. And there are agendas for talking bad about the move. You know, if you are trying to consolidate New Zealand clubs and trying to make sure the New Zealand clubs, the traditional, the 5 Highlanders, Blues, Hurricanes, Chiefs, and Crusaders, if you want them to be the pinnacle of rugby, you would talk shit about this move. You would try to demonize this move and make everybody not want to do it. Because if all the Pacific players left those 5 clubs and went to Moana Pacifica, not only would it obviously strengthen Moana Pacifica and Pacific rugby, it will weaken New Zealand rugby a lot.
Yeah.
And that could be seen as a gateway move as well. The next step after representing Moana Pacifica is representing the Pacific countries.
Yeah.
And so, slave masters used to do it all the time. As soon as they see some little piece of rebellion in the slaves or in the indigenous people, they fucking cut their heads off. And you do it in front of the rest of the subjugated race, so no one ever dares to defect or ever dares to challenge the stranglehold that colonizers have over particular systems. Here, it's the same thing. There is an agenda to make sure it looks bad. There's an agenda to scare other Pacific people into doing this move. Because it's not just this move, it's the move that naturally comes after this move, which is wanting to play for Samoa, wanting to play for Tonga, wanting to play for Fiji as opposed to the All Blacks. So I can see why John Kilwan would come out with some bullshit fucking, well, when I played back in the fucking 18th century, it affected me. So I just think it's a very strong move. It's a conscience shift. And last week we talked about sport being, like a vehicle and a platform for corporate agendas, political agendas. The American government and the US military, they put billions into the NFL and the NBA to make sure the national anthem is played before every game, and you get your soldiers there. Yeah, we support the troops. like sport has always been used as a vehicle to, for colonial agendas. And occasionally you get some people who use it against all of that.
Yeah.
Who use it to change the consciousness of people and to empower the subjugated races like Muhammad Ali. I mean, we saw this year or in the last season, we saw Kyrie get into trouble. And here, to a lesser extent, we also saw, I think it was Tommy Smith and John Carlos with the Black Power fist at the Olympic Games. So occasionally you get athletes who dare challenge the norm.
Quo.
Yeah, the status quo. And in this case, which is sort of to a lesser extent, but it's carrying on the conscience shift that Matimata Tonga did. And in representing your own Pacific nations and going against, the money, going against the mainstream euphoria and all the accolades, and going to represent your original people. And I think this is a part of that. It's an extension of that. It's now coming into rugby, and I think it's a very powerful move by Ardie to step away from the traditional 5 clubs and to go somewhere, because Ardie is not normal. He's the All Black captain, and he is the best player in the world. Last year, World Player of the Year.
On the planet.
Best
rugby player on the planet.
Right. And he's made this massive move, very comfortable where he's at. And now he's going to, a team that came second to last, a team that hasn't done too well in the last 3 years. And I think it's a wonderful thing. It's good to see these players go back to their roots, but also go somewhere where there's a lot of adversity and just another challenge, but also to go against the conscience that we have to stay in traditional teams that are run and owned by non-Pacific people. This is a good shift, because there's always that, when people think, something Pacific is not as good, so I think this is a really powerful move. It's inspirational, I think, and just the conscience shift on, I'm going to go do this with my people. We're going to go battle together. I think that's really important, because that can spark up all sorts. And I remember when I went through my shit with World Rugby, I had a lot of university students saying, man, if you can stand up to these people, fuck, we can, in our law and in our whatever jobs we're doing. So his move, the conscience shift, even though it's in the sports paradigm where we sort of like sports is distraction and all of this shit, you never know what that might ignite for someone else in a different sector, doing something else. So, but that shift that, I'm going to go be with my people, I'm going to build with my people is big. I don't, I've done enough there, or I don't want to do that anymore. I want to go join things that are run by us, for us, and serve there. And it's a powerful move on many levels.
You talked about that shift, planting those seeds in the next players' mind. Perfect example, prime example, Jason Tamololo, Andrew Fafita.
Yes.
Like if you look at the power move that they made, and again, similar situation. Tamololo was the best lock in the world, best player on the planet.
Yes.
Fafita was the best prop on the planet.
Right.
Together they did this, ching.
Yes.
And next minute, MMT gang. And
yeah. And they worked it together. Like, they were calling each other, calling their mates. They were working behind the scenes, organizing it. So it's not just those two, but all these elite Tongan rugby league players all together, came together. They organized it themselves. It wasn't like some Balangis had to come in and orchestrate the whole move. These were the Tongan rugby league players who did it themselves, called each other, called their friends, moved, and what a shift in consciousness that they push, not just for Tongans but all of us Pacific people. Yeah. I'm sure they did that just for their own, perhaps identity, search for identity, or their own reasons, but they ended up igniting the rest of the Pacific.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like that spark Toa Samoa did it later.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing Ari, you know, going towards that as well. And so I can see why John Kerwin would try and talk shit about it, because it is very dangerous, because the only next step is fighting for the change in the eligibility rule. And once that happens, which will probably flow on after this, depending on the success, which is another discussion, like, are they going to be any good? But, you know, it snowballs, because we're at this point because of that Tongan team. Look at that effect that it's had. And not just that, I'm sure everyone in their lives are now starting to think, you know, I go in business with my people. Fuck, they did. Jason and Fifita and those guys did, and look what happened. Yep. They changed the fucking game, man. So, and then, yeah.
I want to stay here on that point. On Adi picking this team, because for the longest time, you've only got your select clubs in New Zealand, and it's tough enough to make it in those teams here.
Yes.
And you'll find out, and bro, for like the past 20, 30 years, we've lost a lot of Pacific players to the international game, to Europe, to Asia, to wherever else in the world. Typically for a lot of these players, if they don't get a contract with the Blues, they're off.
Yeah.
Now they've got an opportunity with Moana Pacifica, because Ali's there. Ali's going to pick that team, and I believe he's going to make the All Blacks next year.
Well, yeah. I don't think it's going to matter, to be honest, whether they're good or not. I think he'll make it anyway. Look, he didn't even play for the Hurricanes this year, and he's in.
Yeah.
So, Moana Pacifica success, it's not going to matter, because he was playing in Japan the whole Super Rugby. He didn't play a single game, and Hurricanes were the number one team, so they were excellent without him anyway. So I don't think the success of Moana Pacifica is going to determine whether or not Adi is going to get picked. So that is not even an argument by John Kerwin, because again, he didn't even play in the Super Rugby this year, and he got picked for the All Blacks. But what he will do is he's definitely going to raise the standard. It's like when LeBron like fucking goes to a team and all of his teammates say, fuck, bro, the cameras follow, man. You are under so much pressure because he finds you open and you got to hit down that open three. Like, it's LeBron. Yeah. You know, when LeBron comes, the fucking cameras come, the media, the standard is up. This is the same shit. This is the best player in the world is coming. Yeah. Right? So now these players are going to have to step up. And I hope and he's already talking about it. And that's what I love about his interviews. That was my favorite part of the interviews, is going, yep, well, talking's done. Now it's time. We got to work hard. We got to work hard, challenge each other. Bro, they need to fucking work hard. Because there are some players who don't look like they work hard. But he's going to fucking raise that standard. Yeah. As the best player in the world, as the captain of the All Blacks, you know he lives that shit. The reason why the All Blacks are fucking amazing, because they fucking train like animals. Barrett has the fastest Bronco time in the world, like 4 minutes and 12 seconds. He's going to expect the 10s in the fucking Moana Pacifica to at least get down to 4:30, which is fucking fit. You know, so he's going to expect All Black standard. He's going to raise everything, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Whether they win or not, I know for sure the standard's going to increase. And players now, man, you're going to be followed. You know, this is the best player in the world. He'll bring the best media as well. And you'll be under scrutiny. Okay, so, and this is it. Like, you want to be the best? This is what comes with it.
Time to play under fire, eh?
Yeah, standards, media, distractions, you know. So it's a great move for Adi as well, you know.
Yeah.
Him and his brother are tight. I remember, I don't know if you remember, but his brother got a contract. Do you remember? I think it's Toulon, and it was one of the French clubs.
Yeah. And
the fans were pissed off because he left the club to come back for Adi's wedding. Yeah, and so that's how tight they are. Like, that's going to be great. But I think, like we said last week, you know, what's the next thing for him? Best player in the world, comfortable at the Hurricanes, making good cash, you know. And greatness, again, is always determined by the adversities one overcomes. Why not go to Moana Pacifica, you know?
And I love that about him, because, like, very easily, you know, and it's okay if you want to stay in one club and get all the same titles that you're getting every year. But there's something different about a guy who's done everything but wants to do more.
Yeah.
And it's not about, he's not attaching himself to another great team. He's not going to the Blues or Crusaders. He's going to a team that's been at the very bottom for the past couple of years, and he's going, right, I'm going to go here. My people are here.
Yeah.
Let me try my best to lift this team up.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of balls to that.
Yes.
As you said, like, all eyes are on him. This could be a complete failure, but he's willing to go there to test himself.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't see a failure anywhere. I can see reasons why mainstream media will want him to fail,
of course.
like I said,
of course,
and they might write about it in that way. I don't expect a big change in the first year. I don't, and it's going to be hard, but I do expect he's going to play amazing rugby in the second year there. Always happens. Every time a player goes to a new club, it's the second year. That's why a lot of coaches will buy a player for 2 years. They're not. The first year is always just to get in their systems, personality, character, and all of this relationships. But the second year is where you really get your benefit. But yeah, he's going to have to lift the bottom team. Not him. He's going to lift the standards, but also like lift everyone spiritually. You know what I mean? Culturally, it's a big move. He went and did a media conference with all Pacific people.
Oh man, that's
right?
awesome.
Things like that. That's a conscience shift where he's this is for my people, this is for my media, and it's going to be interesting.
I like when you're talking about how that lift. I can recall a story. I remember earlier on in the Warriors, probably in the early 2000s, showing my age here. But they had a player by the name of Kevin Campion who had come from the Brisbane system. And so for the Warriors, for the longest time, very local, like a lot of Kiwi coaches that were coaching them up until that point. And then I remember Kevin Campion came and he started doing these things where they were running drills. He'll drop a ball and you'll get down and you do like 20 press-ups. And all the other players were like, oh, that's what little kids do. Kevin Campion's like, no, this is what professionals do.
Small things.
And then from that point, like everyone started dropping down, doing push-ups when they were messing up. And I believe that's what Adi brings to the table. He brings those little things that some of the younger players are going to go, okay, that's what the All Black does. I want to do that because that's what Adi's teaching us.
Yeah, hard out, bro. Hard out.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of small things like that. It's going to make a lot of players look at their game big time because you honestly, I'm serious, man. Mainstream media will follow the main player. And you're going to get scrutinized, especially if he's an All Black captain. They will tend not to blame him, okay? So they will look at other players to blame. So be ready, be better than you've ever been. And I think it's good. Like a couple of players, Lewila, D'Angelo, like I said before, he has amazing skill. He has the potential. But he just, I feel like this move is going to be good for him.
Yeah.
Moana Pacifica need a solid, consistent 10. And I think a player like him is going to benefit from the higher standards, being brought in. And because he's playing amazing rugby right now, I think a lot of these players are going to get a lot of opportunity under the mainstream hype that's going to come with it.
Yeah.
And I think it's great, man. It's great. It's something different as well, It's exciting. Like you said, you're going to go to the game. I'm not, but you are.
I want to go, man. I'm going to go.
No, that's good. And I think, remember, there's the Pacific Strategy Assessment Report where they said that they admitted in the report that rugby is on the decline. And the whole idea of Moana Pacifica was to increase numbers in the Pacific community, right? So, and when you get last, second to last, empty stadiums all the time, something new is needed, something. And so this had to happen. Yeah. And they're already talking about there are other players that they're interested in.
I love it.
Yeah,
all it takes is one of the greats.
Yeah.
We saw it happen with rugby league with Jason Tamololo. It might be too far gone here, but I've always thought that Super Rugby would benefit from individual clubs. We obviously look at Fiji Drua, the support they obviously get support from Australia, but the foundation is Fijian. And if you look at the international team, at the last World Cup, amazing. And there was a massive benefit of having a local club compete in Super Rugby. Do you still think there's an opportunity for us to have a Tongan and Samoan club, or is Moana
It's
Pacific?
finances. It's always finances. Moana Pacifica is funded by the government. I know they say the Pacifica Medical Association is the main sponsor of the team now, but that sponsorship came in July. And the Pacific Medical Association group is funded by the government. And that budget was came out in May, where they were given, I think, 35 million for the E2. You know, the E2 care. I think they have like 3 or 4 clinics. And so under the new scheme, under the new budget, the national government, they spending, I think, 8 billion on health. And millions went to the Pacific Medical Association group. And so that budget was announced in May, and then in July it was announced that they are the main sponsors for Moana Pacifica, because obviously they got a lot of cash now. And then now at the end of July we've got the big signing of Adi Severe. So it's a money thing. It's a money thing. Because there is no Samoan or Tongan organization that could probably fund one of these teams.
Yeah.
So you have to be in partnership with New Zealand, or you have to be in partnership with Australia, which the Drua are. They're in partnership with Australia. I think New Zealand is in partnership with Moana Pacifica, obviously, how they fund the Pacific Medical Association. And then in turn, I think the conditions of that funding will be you got to spend it on Moana Pacifica. But it's a money thing. It's a money thing. And that's the only obstacle, obviously. And rugby is hard because, you know, it's a lot of players and a lot of staff, you know, that you got to fly back and forth to Australia, the islands, and all of that. Hotels. It's not cheap. It's not cheap. So, obviously, ideally, in a perfect world where, you know, we have these billionaire Pacific people who can fund these things, yeah, it'd be great if there was a Tongan team, Samoan team, Fijian team. But it's the money thing. It's the money side. And because our populations are not that big, there's split loyalties. So with Tonga being amazing at rugby league, you know, that's attracted pretty much the whole of Tonga. You know what I mean? Yeah. And with Tonga rugby right now, I think they lost to Spain. They lost yesterday to Queensland Reds. You know, so
there's an economic point to that as well, like whether the islands can support that structure of going bigger, eh?
Yeah, unfortunately. So that's why everything, like, you know, we talked about it, that's why it's so important for Manu Samoa to get some money from games at Twickenham, because then they could actually fund their own teams. If they got even 10% of the gate, you know, if you're 50% on the rugby field getting your body and face smashed, you got to get something from Twickenham, and that something would help fund things like Moana Pacifica. But because Samoa gets nothing from European games, even though their players are getting smashed, this is what happens. You're always scraping around, and you're at the mercy of those who have the money.
Well, with Adi's move to Moana Pacifica, one of the cool features about Moana Pacifica is that they do have a lot of local talent, a lot of island talent. And I'm gonna love seeing that relationship kind of foster when they've got that experience, but plus the best player in the world to play alongside. Yeah, which must be a mean vibe to, you know, for a young Samoan or Tongan or Fijian to come into this team and go, oh yeah, we're with Adi.
Yes, but not too much celebrity worship. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, with Adi, but I'm gonna fucking be better than Adi, or I'm gonna fucking back him up. You know, I'll be right there. You know, not too much hero worship. Like, because when you play the opposition, you're not going to fucking hero worship. Like, you know, get that out of your head. At the end of the day, you got to smash the opposition. And they should have been looking at Adi beforehand than the last 3 years. Like, bro, I'm going to smash him. Yeah. So I think it's great. But I'm interested to see who, I would love to know how much he got on the move. And who are they bringing in? I would love for Theodore to be bought. Whoa. You know, to be bought out of Saracens to come work next to Adi. And him at 6, Adi at 8. fuck. You know,
That's a loose forward trio.
and if
or
they
double.
got these millions from the New Zealand government, fuck it. Just start bringing in like the 5 most dynamic Pacific people overseas and just bring them in and see what happens. You might as well. It's the last and second to last. That's a great thing. You got nothing to lose. The only place to go for Adi is up, right? Because Moana is fucking last. Like even finishing like 7th is a fucking massive improvement.
Yeah.
You know, Hurricanes are first right now. Yeah, if you go play for them and then finish 3rd, you know.
That's gonna be a fun game to watch.
Oh yeah,
Moana versus Hurricanes. Well, the Severes actually.
the Severes, yes.
Just both of them are there.
Hey, Adi's got to earn a spot too, though.
That's true. That's true.
Hey,
That's true.
You'll be the first to say, bro, no one's walking in here. You know, there's no freebies here.
Yeah.
Fucking, you know, everything's got to be earned. I'm sure he'll earn it, but it's cool. I just like the fact that we're getting this generation who are like, fuck these old things, these old structures.
Yeah.
Fuck playing for Australia Rugby League. Fuck playing for the traditional 5 New Zealand Super Rugby teams. We're getting this generation who are, you know, just try, not trying different things, but trying to serve their people instead, you know? Like, you know, just, it's like psychological warfare out there, bro. You know, like, sports benefits from the dumb athlete who does, you know, who just fucking toes the line. And we're getting this generation of Pacific players, rugby league and rugby going, no, fuck that. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's more money over here. Oh, fuck your money. It's my people over here, though. That's worth more. And then we're getting those who are not playing sport, but we're watching this going, yeah, fuck, we are worth more. You know, like, we're seeing, I don't know, like just people. It's like a renaissance, and
Yeah, I see. It's a shift. It's a shift.
it's a shift and uplifting, and it's great. It's really cool that this generation are all about that.
There's a thing with a lot of Pacific athletes where they're finding self-value in making decisions for themselves. I think typically the goal was come to New Zealand, get that big contract, serve New Zealand. Where it's now, it's like, I know I'm the pawn on the field.
Yes,
So it's my decision first versus yours, where you want to place me.
hard out.
Yeah.
And I feel like that. Like they've realized, fuck, I have this power.
Yeah.
I have this power now. You know, and they're not waiting till they're like over the hill.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to do something at the peak. And yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, they're realizing how powerful they can be in affecting change, just a conscience shift. And it's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's more like when you say a conscience shift, this is what it looks like when you start to bring your own resources and circulate it amongst your own community. Like this is a reflection of that. Like we've talked previously about, you know, spending money in your community.
Yep.
This is kind of what it looks like.
Spending talent in your community.
Like this is bringing his resources, his IP, his experience. The best in the world is coming to play alongside, you know, local talent. You know, obviously it may not be the monetary benefit
For the
like as an
individual.
upfront, but you know, you're surrounded by someone who's played at the highest level. You're going to expect some of that to rub off on your people.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, like you said, Eliota, you know, by upping the standards, you know, your opportunities by being better increase.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the ripple effect of him coming here, yeah, I think it's just what it looks like if you circulate your own resources amongst your people, and maybe, you know, to a certain extent, you know, it's kind of like bringing your talents to small business, really. After you've done your
You work for the corporations.
you work for the corporate. Yeah, you've worked for the corporations. You've worked under a highly supported system, and you're basically bringing all that operational knowledge back to a team that's just started.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like, you know, that's basically bringing resources to a small business, really, and that's what I see Moana Pacifica as a small business.
Yeah.
It's just wanting to, you know, just to roll out. even though it's funded, I'm guessing they operate in a, at a compromise in that respect, but like that's still, can't control the ripple effect of that individual, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's great.
I can humble brag, but I've done some work this week, and Tofinga was involved, and he's the man to me in entertainment.
Absolutely.
And by having him a part of a project that I'm working on, that's lifted everything for me.
Yes.
That's like, okay, my right. And it was simple things. I go ask him, like, Sully, what do you think this looks like in the Pacific Lens? And he'll just be honest. And it's just having him as a resource, as you said, big resource, small business. And so it's that thing, right? And so just by having those kind of pillars come back down, so to speak, and then help lift the next one, that's exactly what it is. Because I'm going to take some of that resource and I'm going to spread it myself.
Yeah, because remember, Artie's also running his own academy online that he's launched not too long ago. So like this is quite fitting in regards to him.
Clothing label.
He's got a... Yeah, that's right.
Quite fitting in regards to not only him coming to play, but like I think we're going to see an expansion in his business.
Oh, absolutely.
Or like obviously like there's a lot more to it than just money.
Yeah.
And it's cool because we're going to see a big example of where a player like him of his caliber can do not only on the field but also off the field, business wise as well. So yeah, I think it'll be a great example.
He's still got to keep the main thing though. He's still got to be a great player.
Yeah.
So a lot of our people fall over and trying to help a lot too early.
Yes.
And I saw that in law school a lot. Every single law student who came in, I want to help my people. I want to help my people. Why are you doing law? I want to help my people. And then over the years, they start dropping out. So keep the main thing, still be an amazing, excellent player
They
first.
drop out because they're already helping their people.
Yeah, and it's tough, though. It's tough because you lose sight that you got to get the fucking degree first.
Yes.
You still got to be focused on yourself. You must fill your well first before you can dish out water and feed everyone else. You still got to be good at why you're there. You still got to do that job first. And it's not selfish. It's not selfish to be good at that shit first. And then I think maybe Kerwin was probably getting along those lines is that, don't lose sight that you got to be the best player first. Don't be too much a mentor. Don't be too much trying to coach. Still be the main thing, the main man. And like you said with Tofinga, even your mere presence fucking ups the game. Fucking Tofinga just told me
I'm making sure everything's funny.
You're on time. Shit like that. Fuck. I bet you he'll be on time. He'll be an hour early doing extras, sweeping the fucking... He'll just naturally be that way. But that's how you become the best. He's already lived that way. That's normal to him. And so just by your mere presence, you will elevate everyone spiritually as well. But, just for him, what the fuck is if he's going to listen to me or what? But, I just hope he's still that number one player first.
He's built like that, man.
Bro.
He's built like
shoulders.
Was there a player that, like, when you went into the team and you just watched him and I guess their kind of greatness rubbed off onto you and either on field or off field?
When I went for the Manu Samoa, I had to try and make the team where Brian Lee Ma was in the same position. Okay, so nah. Fuck. To be honest, I worked my ass off, days off. I fit in 4 sessions. Yeah. Training days, I was training before trainings. There was no one training with me. There was no one doing, maybe they were on their side, but that's my main thing. Fuck, I never try to be anyone else. No. No. But in all fairness for our players, we had so many issues off the field.
Right.
And it was so distracting. We had games where they postponed the start because we refused to play. We had games where, like the Australian game, where we had decided the night before we're not playing it because we had no insurance. Like, what fucking team is scrambling the night before trying to get some insurance coverage for the players before a fucking test match against the number 2 team in the world? So, I mean...
Wait, wouldn't you need insurance for your visa?
No. Just for rugby, for playing rugby. Yeah, no, just from injuries, medical insurance and shit. We had nothing. So we were in Australia with no insurance,
Nice.
and we had decided the night before, you know what, we had these meetings. Then we wake up in the morning, oh, there's another meeting. So, you know, for us, I don't hold our team to those standards, you know, who was the best professionally focused player, because our team was fucking focused on all sorts of fucked up shit. We had so many protests, so many crisis meetings. And so I don't hold our team to that standard.
Even if it's not this team, were there any players or any other athletes that were around that you took a liking to that help either motivate you or you? Oh no, actually, you talked about Sam Tuitupu. He's someone that you wanted to be better than. Yeah, you guys were the competing.
It's learning how to hit. It's learning how to hit.
Yeah.
He was the smallest guy in Auckland rugby, but he elevated everyone's game because he was the biggest hitter. And so, you know,
Scary
a lot of
guy.
us, you know, that generation was like Aaron Major, Carter was a 12.
That's right.
Luke McAllister.
Yeah.
So 3 dudes, we were all ball players. Like everyone was a good ball player. You know, steps, awesome, miss pass left to right. And then Sam comes along and does massive hits, and we're like, shit, we're gonna have to learn that. So yeah. But in this, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be keeping tabs on Artie's move going forward, and Moana Pacifica, the team, as they compete next year. Back on sports, ESPN released a list of their best athletes of the 21st century. It's available online. I'm going to run from 10 to 1. Number 10, Kobe Bryant. Number 9, Usain Bolt. Number 8, Tiger Woods. 7, Simone Biles. 6, Roger Federer. 5, Tom Brady. You know. 4, LeBron James. 3, Lionel Messi. 2, Serena Williams. 1, Michael Phelps. In the comment sections, there's a lot of people asking why Usain Bolt is the number 1. But when you hear this list, what do you think?
American centric. Just all fucking American shit. It's,
USA.
USA. Bloody hell. I like Tom Brady's a weird one because championships, he's
but who plays American football? With all due respect, and I don't mean this because I know we got a lot of American Samoans play American football, but in terms of global competition,
yeah,
like soccer, what, not 190 countries play, or 100, literally nearly every single country in the world plays soccer. Very hard to even qualify for the World Cup. And then you compare that with bloody American football, where there's what, 3 countries?
yeah.
I mean, I don't think you can ever be classed in that. And then you got guys like Duke Kahanamoku that we were talking about last week, right? Gold medal in 1912. Can't get a gold medal in 1916 because of the war. Gets a gold medal in 1920. Changes the freestyle stroke. The whole world follows freestyle that he did. And then he has to go stay in hotels where they will accept black people because the majority of them didn't. He couldn't eat in restaurants with his swim teammates because he was dark skinned. How you can't compare that to fucking Tom Brady, you know? And no, it's so American centric and it's so modern, present day centric. And because I played for Manu Samoa and the amount of bullshit that we had to go through, I think back to these black athletes and man, they literally had to try and survive the night in order to race the next day.
Yeah.
And then still get gold for 12 years for like 3 Olympics in a row. Well, they would have got that 1916 one, but it's just crazy, man. You can't, like...
There's too many white people on this. Sorry.
Hey, Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
Where's Muhammad Ali?
Exactly.
Oh, it's
The greatest athlete of all time. Man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. There's the number 1.
That's
the number 1.
that is the original GOAT.
Yeah. And then like Jesse Owens having to race in front of Hitler. Like, bro. Like, shit. Like, that stuff is extraordinary, man. That's extraordinary.
Yeah, well, who would be in your...
It wouldn't be quantity as well. It's not the quantity of golds and like Phelps. Is Phelps there?
Phelps is number 1.
like Phelps, for example, like I went through and 10 out of his 23 are like relays.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like freestyle relay, like he wasn't even winning those events. He's winning the
team.
butterfly and the medley.
Yeah.
And he won it like later on in his career, but those are team events. And then like, what's the difference between a 100-meter butterfly and a 200-meter? Why don't you have a 300-meter for another gold and a 400-meter and a 500-meter and a 600-meter? Like there's, you know, it's just bullshit. Like all these events were made just to dish out more golds and shit. No, but swimming is swimming. Anyone who's done swimming will know that freestylers are good at butterfly and butterfly are good at freestyle. It's like fucking. No, I just don't think it's the quantity of wins. It's great. It can factor in, but also the quality.
Yeah.
The quality of opposition, the quality of life. Like to try and win when you are the subjugated people, where it's okay to call you the N-word, it's okay to ban you from water, it's okay to ban you from a swimming pool, and then you go and win gold in the pool. That's crazy, man. Black people weren't even allowed in most of the pools, and then you got Dukana Moku learning how to swim in the bloody beach, coming to the pool, getting gold. It's crazy. It's so American-centric, bro.
I thought it would be fun if we look at maybe a list of who's our top Samoan athletes. You know, since we're speaking on lists, because we've got a lot of great athletes ourselves that punch well above their weight, but in competing circumstances could have done amazing things if they had the same resources a lot of these Americans have. And I think, you know, only a matter of time it will happen with the amount of Samoans, Tongans, Hawaiians, Fijians that are now integrated in American society.
Yes.
Like they're already taking over the NFL. We got a lot more in the NBA. The Pacific is coming.
Yes. Yep. But unfortunately, like you said, it's getting access to resources, and the countries that have access to resources will be America, New Zealand, Australia. So you'll see a lot of Pacific people coming through and succeeding in America, New Zealand, Australia, unfortunately, because Samoa still doesn't have many resources. And, you know, it's not just the physical resources, it's the intellectual resources, the experience and the know-how. And like you're so right, like, just imagine what they would be able to accomplish if they did. Because you're seeing the foreign Samoan in the diaspora doing amazing
What
things.
did you say?
Doing amazing things.
You look so comfortable saying that.
Woke, call me woke. I'm woke.
That word. I got the gout twitch when you said that. I was like, what did you say?
Yes.
Who's your top Samoan athletes?
Mine is Eli Opelongi, the weightlifter. Silver medalist at the Olympics in weightlifting, and honestly, local, born and raised. Like, what resources do they have over there, bro?
Yeah.
And like for her to do what she did, that is
Incredible.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. So I've got her number one.
No arguments there. This is my bias, bro. David Tua was number one for everything. And he was a bronze medalist, I believe.
Faleakiu.
Yeah.
Yes. Bronze medalist on McDonald's, bro.
Yeah. So not even at 100%.
Yeah, hard up.
Just a young Samoan boy having fun, and
Exactly, like
a badass, being a badass around the world.
Yeah. No, definitely.
But I look at him as like an athlete all around. Like, that guy's a freak, man. Like, he's so strong. Like, there's so many sports that he could play. I heard he was a really good rugby player too. Like,
wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, so just our country is full of beasts.
And that's when boxing was. That was like peak, bro. Mike Tyson and all that shit.
Yep, he existed
Like,
with the Giants.
Yeah, Lennox Lewis. That's when they had the 16, 6'8" black boxers, man. Now they're all gone to NFL and NBA, but yeah, that was extraordinary. He's extraordinary. Yep. No arguments there, bro.
Who's on the rest of your list?
I got Tim Cahill.
Oh,
Tim Cahill, yeah, I think that's a standard selection, for everyone. Yeah, standard. He's one of the greatest. Everton. I was looking at the cash that he made. I was like, damn, man.
How much did he
He's
make?
good, man.
No, yeah.
He's very good.
Really good.
And he
But he's number one in Australia.
Yeah, Hall of Fame in Australian.
Yep.
Probably Australia's greatest soccer player as well.
Yeah.
He said that he was raised, his maternal grandmother, his Samoan grandmother, was the one who instilled discipline and hard work in him. They would always go back to Samoa. He's got his sleeve, of course, in honor of his grandmother, he said.
You know, he went to represent Samoa at 14.
Yes, under 20s. He was in the Samoa under 20s. Yeah. Before what are they called? The Wallaroos or something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, and yeah, he was earning bank, bro. He was getting like $6 million a year. He's actually got, have you heard of Tiny Tim Books? So, yeah, he's got a best-selling global book. Like, apparently, like 400,000 copies sold worldwide. And it's a series of books that it was about when he was small, because he was told, you're too small and you're too slow. You're not going to make it. And so, obviously, he made it over 100 appearances for Australia, millions in the bank. And so he made these books based on the character that was too slow and too small to make it. And so, yeah, again, like branch out, you know, don't just focus on your sport.
And he's very proud Samoan, man.
Yeah.
And he lets Australians know that he's
Yes.
Samoan. I've lived there and he's always represented.
Yes. And he's amazing, bro. His goals are amazing. They love him. And yeah, and in football, in soccer.
Yeah.
You know, the most popular sport in the world, and he was right up there at the top.
Yeah.
So, bro, elite.
And he's responsible for a lot of Samoans playing soccer. They saw him, and you know.
Yeah.
Who else is on your list? I think we got a similar list, so I will run off yours and we could just talk.
Jeez, I can't remember. Oh, I had Brian Lima.
Yeah.
Brian Lima, greatest rugby player of all time.
4 World Cups?
4 or 5. I think it's 5.
Might be 5. You might be right.
91, 95, 99, 2003, 2007. Yep. 5 World Cups. And even in that last World Cup, like, he got caught up for a high tackle, but he smoked Johnny Wilkinson, man. You know, like, he was still a massive hitter right until his last game.
That's insane.
Yeah.
5
World Cups. And I wish there was Jucze back in the day, because that's why we loved him. It wasn't just the World Cups. He was amazing for the Blues.
Yep.
He was amazing for the Highlanders. And there was one time where it was like him and Afatu Soyalo. Yeah, were the 2 best wingers in New Zealand. But he's...
Wow, that's a throwback name.
Yeah, bro.
He was amazing. Crusaders, eh?
Crusaders. He was bad too. And there was always the matchup, Jonah versus Brian Lima. That's how good Brian Lima is.
Yeah.
Like, we actually used to think he could smash Jonah. Yeah. And, he's amazing. Amazing. Samoa's greatest ever rugby player.
I think I told you that story, and I think it was during they did a tsunami fundraiser. I think it was North versus South, 2009. And so it was pretty much a lot of the competing players were obviously over in Europe. And then Gregan was playing, and Lima was the winger. But he did an interview before the game, and George Gregan goes, he's the only player I've wanted. Like, if I could pick any player outside of Australia, I could play alongside. It's Brian Lima.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, hard out,
because that guy's idolized obviously in South Africa, New Zealand, and Australia. But one of his favorite players is
and back then no one in the world used to hit like that Samoan team. That Samoan team. Biggest hitters, man. Apollo Perolini was in that team. Bro, hey, they were riding everyone off, man.
Apollo. He does this like one
crumble,
hit.
Yeah, like, no one hit like that team.
That game versus Wales was like, it was horrific, man, because they'll just touch Welsh players. All you see is...
yeah, everything.
It's just the camera work is always funny.
Because it misses it, eh?
You'd see people running, and then you'd stop. And then
the camera's still
moving.
And then eventually when they score the try or whatever, they pan back, they're still there.
Yeah, the guy's lying on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got him there, bro. You? What's your... I can't even remember.
Well, I'll go through my...
Samoa's Archer.
Who's that?
Yeah, Tulepa, man.
Tulepa. The Samoa Robin Hood.
Hawkeye.
He won a medal, did he?
Yes, he won a silver medal in the South Pacific Games.
For real?
Yeah.
True.
It might have been only 2 people in there or something. No. Hey.
Wow.
Those HRPP dudes are gonna get angry.
You know,
Set to Robin Hood.
Yeah, I think he got silver.
Yeah, he's an athlete.
I mean, you know what? Like, in all seriousness, Archery's freaking hard. Have you ever tried to shoot an arrow?
No.
It's hard, bro. That's hard. And it tells me that Twitter-has got some hands on them.
Archery is fun, man.
Yeah,
No, I don't have him on my list.
not on my
I don't
list.
have him on
It's
my
like,
list.
yeah. Nah, he's not. He's
We
not on
better
my
add
list.
him now, or else
Bless him.
No.
Bless him. He's not on my list. I've got
I don't have any
I've got
others.
David Tua, Tim Cahill, Sonny Bill Williams, George Louganis, and Michael Jones.
Greg Louganis.
Yep. Yes, Greg Louganis. Who's George? Why have I got George here? Oh, George is his brother.
Oh.
No, I don't know. I just made that up. But that's kind of my list. Sonny Bill to me could have played any sport he really wanted to. I went intermediate with him, and it was funny because Athletics Day was the worst for everyone because it was literally just him. So all the kids would sit on the sideline and be like, "What's the point of us being here?" Because he won every bloody event, not just in Central Auckland, but in Auckland. Like kids would just be like, "Why are we doing the cross country? Sonny's gonna win. Why is everyone doing the javelin? Sonny's gonna win. Why is everyone doing the long jump? Sonny's gonna
That's
win."
Central Auckland, though, eh?
No, he dominated. Auckland.
I'm trying to hate.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I'm
it was
trying to
Central
find some.
Auckland.
Damn it.
But
Some flaws.
he's just one of those guys that could have done anything he wanted, really.
Greatest though, greatest top 10 of all time.
Samoan athletes,
Yeah.
I'd put him in the top 10. He boxed as well, won a New Zealand title. Yeah.
He's the All Black.
He's an All Black.
Kiwi,
So are many other All Blacks.
won NRL premierships.
That's true.
Yeah. Michael Jones again.
Mm.
I think he could have been anything really. He was so athletic back in those days.
Yes, he was a basketballer.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was a basketballer.
Oh,
So if you watch the old clips,
that makes so much
Yeah.
sense now.
he was the number one line-out option. That's why Fitzy would always throw to the back because he would always win it.
That
Is it
makes
the
so.
only one who
And
knew how
this
to
was
jump?
before the lifting.
Exactly. That was back when you had to jump.
Oh, that's crazy.
So that's why when people try to compare him with McCaw, it's like, bro, you don't understand the game back then. You had to jump. You weren't allowed to lift.
Yeah.
And he was a go-to. Like, it was guaranteed ball. Like, he would
How
always
tall
win
was
it.
he? 6'2", 6'3"?
I think it's, 6'3", 6'4". Big hitter as well.
Of course, yeah.
Yes, played for Viola and Samoa first. Played one game for Samoa. And then he played for the All Blacks.
Mm.
No, it might not be Viola. Maybe it's Moka'a. I think someone hit me up about this before. I got it wrong.
Smoker.
Yeah, it's Moka'a. Hey, yes. Yes. Yeah, and he was a hero to a lot of us back then. He was outstanding. Best player in the All Blacks.
He's got his own statue outside Eden Park. No one else
And
has.
it's an awesome one. I drove past the other day. How cool is that?
Cool, eh? Scoring the try.
Horizontal, yeah, hard out.
yeah.
I've never seen a horizontal statue.
Yep. And that's at Eden Park. Which
Yeah,
is
he's
the,
like flying like this.
yeah, you've not
and
seen
it's
it.
joined like that. It's really cool.
It's the first try he scored, like the first Rugby World Cup try he
Yeah.
scored. It was a Samoan.
Yes.
Yeah. And at Eden Park, for people outside of New Zealand, that is the fortress of the All Blacks.
Mm.
So when you come and watch the All Blacks here, there's a gigantic statue there, and it's
Yes.
Michael Jones.
Hard out. The only other one that I was telling you before is Kanishiki.
Yeah.
Is one of those Yokozunas. Like, there's been so many Samoan world champions at sumo. And that's pretty much just a sort of like just a representation of the sumo community. Because Samoans have been very successful in sumo. But yeah, so I had that in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that completes our sports talk, really. And I thought just to conclude the podcast overall, we'll play a game of Lalanga just to wrap things up and get into some nice chats about life and stuff. And obviously this is open to the rest of the crew, so you guys have to answer this. Is that us? Up
Yo.
for a game? 5-game discussion with Lalanga? All right. Oh, also, before we get into that, congrats to Therese Laulu and her Lalanga game, lalanga.com. You can find it. She posted up at Wickles. So she's in an international, a national store now, and it's sold out the first day. So congrats to her. Get the restock, and you'll be able to buy Lalanga at Wickles nationwide, I believe. If not, head to Lalanga on Instagram. I'm not getting paid for this. Bloody hell.
Hard
Well,
out.
let's
Stop shouting
play.
out.
Let's play. What friendships, relationships do you hold on to that are unhealthy and why?
Food.
Yeah, elaborate. I think that's a lot of our people, bro.
Yeah, nah, I'm food.
Relationships with food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll factor that. Food and weed.
That was random.
Is it though? Food, the weed leads to the food, and it's bad cycle. And
Well, what? Why is your relationship bad with it? Is it why you eat, or is it what you eat? Is it emotional eating? Is it the junk food element of it? What part of the relationship? Because food, bro, people got to eat.
I see.
Pardon?
Oh, that was my answer.
What?
I see.
Oh,
you see what?
that's a real thing, bro. Like, actually, that's good you brought that up because
Mine's emotional eating. I'll be straight up. I can earn that. Life's stressful. Rather than having a sulk or seeing a therapist, I'm just gonna stuff my face with food, make myself feel better. It's that cheap endorphin. It's that cheap hit of like fulfilling
you're
yourself.
worth more, bro. You're worth more,
I know,
man. And that is a sulk, bro.
Yeah,
that is a sulk. Because this is real, bro. Because our people, 3 of the top most obese nations in the world are in the Pacific, and I think it's like 5 out of 10, the top 10. Like, obesity is a real thing, bro. And we are not managing our relationship with food well at all.
What does that say about the Pacific in general? Like the food aspect, the issue of it. Does that mean that a lot of our people are having like emotional issues? Is it just too much there's too much shit resources there, like food, like the junk food that are there? Like, what does that say about our community?
It's the lack of education. It's the lack of education of what food is. Because, I mean, if you try to compare in the 80s, right, there wasn't much fast food outlet. Now we got heaps of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So the issue on food is really around convenience.
Convenience. Yep.
Yeah. So it's like you go home. Do you have time to cook? Nah, I'm stuffed. Okay, and you end up going to a fast food place. That's you out of convenience. Part of it's stress, which you brought up. Stress is part of it, right? So the reason why you're stressed is because, you just come from a long day, and your mind just trying to overcome the issue that's been bothering you, because sometimes people bring issues from work or from school, right? Keep it to themselves, become emotional, and then you hear that food in front of you. That's why we buy cheap food that's not good for us. 1 minute noodles. How convenient it is. You just chuck it in the microwave.
So are we lazy?
Well, not quite lazy. It's trying to... I don't think you're being lazy. It's just that the stress and your mentality of stress allowed you to do it the shortcut. You got to do it quick. You want to quick fix. Yeah, so it's just a mental thing. And what happens? Your relationship with food changes. What you used to enjoy back in the days with cooking changes. And you end up going, oh, you know what? Stuff that. I've got money. Go, quicker. Go get some pizza, get some fish and chip because it's quicker. And we've lost our relationship with food because we don't know what's in our food.
Yeah.
You will know your food if you actually cook it yourself. But because you don't know your food, that's why we're killing ourselves. And that's why you brought up the obesity, because there's so many processed food available, and it's right there, and it's just accessible, it's convenient.
And it's lifestyle too, eh? It's just the lifestyle we have.
Yes.
Sometimes,
Yeah, it is a lifestyle.
It's a shit excuse to have. It's a shit excuse to have. But it's
Shit
like,
excuses.
That's
yeah.
being time poor as well. Like from the economic part, if you are time poor, you're trading your time for money right? So then you can afford the things that, you know, you're trying to survive. But then, you know, by trading your time for money, you're just exhausted.
Yeah.
So, you know, you tend to, you know, opt for convenience, like you said. And then, you know, if that becomes a habit, you live by it. And then, you know, you pass that down. Like, even if you become educated about these things, it's hard to break habits.
Yeah.
But you just gotta, I guess you just gotta do it. But yeah, like there's a lot of factors involved. Like, you know, there is the escapism part.
Yeah.
And then there's the reward systems as well. But yeah, a lot of it, I look at it personally, I'm like, oh yeah, being time poor is one of them, and then reward system with convenience and everything being on demand, yeah, that's a bit. And then if you have disposable income to throw, and then, you know, and that's your reward system, then, you know, kind of a spiral, a bad spiral, and, you know.
Yeah, we need to work on that. And I will work on that right after I eat that fried chicken in the corner. It's sitting over there. Let's move on to the next chat. What's the question?
That was pretty piss poor though, guys. Come on, man.
No, you're right.
you guys are worth it, man. You know, it becomes even more inconvenient when, like,
Yeah, short term.
Being obese is such an inconvenience,
Yeah.
and then like having to lose the weight is so inconvenient.
So maintenance, just better maintenance.
Yeah, a bit of preparation as well. If you know you're going to be short on time, like when you get time, you need to prep something, bro. If it is convenience, then there are places where you can get better options.
Yeah.
Okay, you can still go in there and pick up something that's not as fucking destructive as KFC, fried food, or whatever. Like, if you want that convenience, there's options there. There's options there. You can still go out and get your stuff, but you guys got to realize you guys are worth it. Our people are worth it. Like, it's more an inconvenience to be overweight. Trust me, you'll be an inconvenience to the health system. You'll be an inconvenience to your family. You'll be an inconvenience financially as well. It's,
yeah, and the health part, like the medical checks, like that's probably the scary ones when you go in, and then it scares a lot of our people too, because we're obviously aware that our health's not the best,
right.
And that's even more shameful, and so a lot of our people will stay away, and so it's just finding that kind of that space to maintain better. That's my one. Like, what's some tips, bro? What's some tips?
Oh, see, I don't eat much. Like, I'll have one meal a day. If I'm lucky, I have two. Like you guys, I got no time, man. I got no time, and I like that. So I got no time to think about food. I got no time to have food, but I'll make sure my kids eat and that. But I just know I'm not gonna die. I'll lose fat before I die. You know what I mean?
But that's a thought system you have. Like, it's not a yeah.
But I think it's real, man. A lot of our people need to just you gotta front up. Like, you can't keep making excuses on why. Okay, this is it. What the fuck am I gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Okay, because you guys are worth it, man. You guys are worth it. You know, colonization is a lot of things, man, and food is one of them. There's a reason why they put fucking takeaways and all this shit in our communities. You're right. It's, you know, they want us to access it. They want us to destroy ourselves because they know we will. They just give us those options. So I think, like, invest in working it out. Take some time to work it out. I got an hour today here. I'm going to work out, how am I going to do this? You know, how am I going to eat better, help me live better, choose better choices, have a better relationship with food? Like, take some time to work it out. You know, don't try to work it out on the run. Like, actually sit down with yourself and work it out. You're worth it. And your family know you're worth it, man. Especially those with kids, man. Your kids want you around.
Yes, we will invest time into it.
I'm hungry.
Thanks, Ellie.
I'm hungry.
Thanks,
I got
Ellie.
cheesecake in the car with that.
When was the last time you felt alive? Last night, watched Deadpool. I'm a cinema buff. I love being in the cinema. It's my happy place. Classic movies. movies for me were like a treat. We weren't like the wealthiest family, so I'll be lucky to see one movie a year. Mean that's my childhood. But yeah, I watched Deadpool last night and I loved it. Fan service was amazing. You're into the MCU?
Yeah, I liked it until the fucking this new lot of movies.
All the woke shit, all the freaking no. I'm being serious. There's like YouTube creators like that of massive MCU buffs, and they're just calling it out. Like, oh yep, we've got a interracial couple now. Like they're just throwing things at you that don't stick. But I found Deadpool fun because it just poked fun at all of it. So I thought that was pretty fun. Nah, that probably wouldn't be the last time of. Yeah. Nah, I just had a lot of fun in the cinema.
Like scared, like scared to death.
Scared to death?
Oh.
I don't know. No. What is feeling alive? Like nervous, maybe? Or when did you last feel like challenged, maybe? Or uncomfortable? Or like where you had to bring out your best?
That's been every day for the last month for me.
Right, with the new job,
Yeah. Like, I'm, what do you call it? I'm confronted by compliance. So, regulators and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, like devil in the detail.
Yeah.
Every single day.
I've got one, and it's probably a bit sad, but it's also one that made me appreciate life by being alive. And I was just witnessing my mum and her granddaughter, my niece, just have fun. Because I look at that image and I go, I'm not going to see this forever.
Yeah.
And so that, for me, that's alive. So it's sad, but I look at that, I'm going to cherish what I see. And I just watched them play for like a good 10 minutes. And that's now stuck in here forever. And so whatever happens and I'm like, cool.
And that's why I think death is important.
Yeah.
If we weren't going to die, that probably wouldn't be valuable.
Yeah.
Because they do it again tomorrow and for the next 100 years. But because life is limited and all of that, that what gives value to that moment.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, bro. That's awesome. And it make you think about your grandmother or your mother, was it? So,
Yeah.
That's an interesting way of looking at it live.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just appreciating it because I didn't get much time with my dad. So it's just like, and I feel for my siblings that did because they wish they had those moments. And so, anytime I see my mom happy, it's like I want to maintain her happy until she goes because I know one day she's not going to be here. So, yeah. How about you guys? Last time you felt alive? It's your wedding day, eh? How sad. What was that?
It's almost like a common question. When I wake up, that's the moment I feel alive.
Fuck, not me, bro.
Yeah, so when you wake up, that's the moment you feel alive. And when you wake up, that's where you go, okay, there's thing to do. So, until when it's time to go to sleep, you appreciate what you've done and what you put in the day, and you go to sleep. Because you never know you're going to wake up.
Hard out.
That's why we shouldn't fear death. We should also appreciate death as well. As much as we appreciate being alive.
Yeah. Hard. Every time you tag me in a TikTok, I shit myself, bro. Like fucking putting, how we put our faces out there, we put our words out there to be judged. That shit, I don't even like to go out in public, bro. I just hide away from everything. So every time you're being tagged, it's fuck.
Oh, true. I did
bro,
not know
I hate
this.
that shit. Like even this, like just all of this, man. It's good energy, bro. It's
Good energy?
There's heaps of stuff where I've done that I've never posted.
Yeah.
Because I already defeat myself. I already tell myself, nah, no one's gonna like that. No one's gonna like that.
True. Self-auditing, yeah.
Yeah, bro. I have fucking so many. And
Are you still happy with us taking over that and doing it?
oh yeah, it's fine. And ones where I know we're gonna get like the mainstreamers coming in, or ones where I know I've gone against colonizers and we're going to get Palangis coming in and saying, white people are awesome, we invented everything, which they didn't. That fucking dude who always comments, it's a load of shit. We'll get into that later. But like, I just don't look at it.
Yeah.
I just don't look
Stay
at
away from the comments because, but if we're being honest here, and anyone that's watching this can actually go to our comment section, a good 80% of it's like, it's in favor of us, and it's not like we're trying to get people on the same team of us, but we're at least trying to have the original idea for this podcast was to create just like really interesting, truthful, honest conversations, and letting our people deliberate on what their futures or what their past has been like. It's literally the podcast we have. Like, we want our people to have the same intelligent conversations that we have about us, and that's what we're trying to create in the comment section. And so when people are fighting each other, like we've posted this thing about Samoan independence, and you've done your part about talking about just, and you've done it in a nice way. We talked about it would be nice one day if Samoa and American Samoa could just be one together. And we're already defeating each other. Our people in the comments, like, it's just kill that shit. Like, why are you guys fighting? Like, the whole idea is for us to have a conversation, not to try and fight each other. But again, it's one of those things where I looked at it and I was like, it's always our own people to shut it down.
I guess, when you say we communicate in different ways, like, it's grit, it's sandpaper rubbing against each other, type of thing, and then eventually things will smooth out.
Yeah,
like I think like when people, they get their vitriol and their,
the internet,
because it comes from a lot of that venom or whatever comes from a source of projection. And once they get that out, then eventually, I mean, we may not see that in the comments, but it may be offline. And then, they might come back as user 88555 and comment differently. I
bet if you had all those people arguing on their page and you just put them in this room and there's only two outcomes. One, they have an actual fight, or the other outcome is they have a conversation like this.
It'll be very respectful, eh?
Yeah, it'll be very
if
respectful.
You put them in the same room in front of each other?
Yeah.
Man, but on the internet,
internet, they can hide behind fuck American Samoa, you're slaves to New Zealand, and it's like, whatever.
Bring him in here.
Yes.
Too low.
Yeah, everything will be
Would you like a cup of tea? It's so different, eh? The fucking internet is its own beast, and now people are getting into mainstream way of treating each other, eh? Commenting on each other's shit.
But it's just like I feel like we've made this podcast, and a lot of the work that you've done on it has made a pretty good dent in it's been 6 months that we've been doing this. Like, Ari Severe follows us. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying, like, we've made a dent in the culture here, and that's kind of the idea. Like, we're not trying to hold people victim or, like, we're going to talk shit about colonization because it's fucked up, but we're trying to give people tools or just a safe space to...
and that's the thing. Like, we can discuss colonization, colonizers, colonial effects, but we're out doing our own shit as well. Like, I can't fucking get a law degree and fucking be a lawyer for 20 years if I'm playing the victim. You know what I mean? Like, you guys think it's either if we're gonna expose colonization, that means we're playing the victim. That's fucking pathetic, man.
Don't you have any empathy?
That's pathetic. Like, honestly, we can do both. Like, we can juggle all these ideas and not surrender ourselves to them. You know what I mean? So it's fucking losers who are saying if we talk about colonization and how they banned tattooing and banned all the shit, then we're playing the victim. Bro, like, we're out doing our own shit. We can fucking discuss this and do this, but again, it's psychological warfare out there. They don't want us to expose colonization and talk about the impacts and the effects and all the fucked up shit, burying kids up to their necks and kicking their heads off. They don't want us to talk about that, so they're going to play this card, you guys are being victims, because it's all fucking
the more
bullshit.
that you speak about colonization, the more it keeps our heads afloat about what's happening, because the act of colonization for a lot of Pacific people in New Zealand, Australia, and America makes us subservient to the system. Right. So anytime you've taught me something new about James Cook, it gives me an extra
the goat.
It gives me an extra boost every day when I go into work and I'm dealing with a Palangi and they tell me this and I go, no.
Yeah, hard out.
That gives that's all it gives me is that boost to go, no, I don't think that way, so I'm not going to do that.
Hard out. And it's okay. You don't have to think like a colonizer. Even the woke ones with their colonial pronouns.
And that as well, like those that, that claim allyship. Like when you do learn the history and, and those that benefit decide, I'm going to, try and help the so-called victims. Man, like sometimes it doesn't sound sincere because it's just like, well, if previous history or history determines behavior and behavior patterns and what leads to the system now, man, like it's hard to trust that allyship sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you're just
never trust the woke allies.
At any time, you could walk away from this conversation, and you can walk back into that system that supports you. Just at any given time.
Remember, like Malcolm X said, it's the liberals. You got to watch out for the people who come across as your allies. They're the fucking the wolf in sheep's wool, bro. They're the worst, man.
Yeah. Well, that was awesome. Awesome episode. Sorry.
Actually, the way I see with the podcast that we're running, I see it. Our podcast operate on the now. We talk about the past, and you create it for the future. So that's the whole idea of what you brought up. Rather than playing the victim card. We talk about the past. We bring the thing from the past to talk about it in the present, so that we acknowledge it. That everyone will, take what they learn from our podcast in the future. So
absolutely,
yeah. So even though I'm against the whole colonial perspective, and I've looked at discrimination from 4 different worlds. I never asked for what do you call it? I never asked for for something that I can play the victim card. All I asked for was empathy, and I got nothing from it. That's why a lot of people wanted to play the victim card, because they want empathy. But you don't. You can't gain empathy unless you create something positively. Because in order to gain empathy, you got to create respect. Once you get the respect from the opposition, that's when empathy comes in. But that's the problem is that when people play the victim, they expected it. They expected empathy, and they expected everything. And what that tells me, entitled. And that's why, there's different groups which always talk about discrimination whatsoever. And of course they've been discriminated. But what they're demanding for is entitlement rather than empathy. Yeah. So it's this whole battle of playing the victim card, and I hate playing the victim card because it doesn't take you anywhere. Yeah. But like I said,
nice, bro.
This podcast where where we talking about the prison will help our people in the future.
Absolutely. And if you don't like what we talk about, fuck off. Shit. There's literally like thousands of podcasts out there that you can go and listen, because I'm going to keep talking about colonization and I'm going to keep doing my thing as well. Fuck none of these fucking eat asses that have been in my shoes or our shoes. So we'll talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. If you don't like the podcast, fuck off. Especially you, the white guy, the fucking troglodyte in the comments. Every fucking week it's the same dude moaning about they talk about colonization. Guess what I'm gonna talk about next week? Shit.
I love that this one guy keeps listening.
Yeah, hard out.
He keeps listening, and it's like,
Bro, and he said, he goes, oh, Eliota's got a Samoan law degree from Samoa. Fuck, bro. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting a law degree from the islands, okay? But no, it's not from Samoa, you fucking troglodyte. Go call back to the Keys, bro. Shit.
I bet you the person's a Samoan.
Bro, the way he goes, oh, I'm proud of my white race. We invented everything. It's like, oh,
man.
shit, bro.
Hey, they destroyed everything.
They destroyed everything.
It's a
Stole
debate.
everything. But we'll get into that another time when we talk about colonization again.
Yes.
They took over the back.
That's us. Episode 34.